So I got a second question from Pravin. Pravin, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, from block.kitchen. Again, man, I didn't even know there was a .kitchen, domain extension. I'm perplexed by these, just this infinite number of domain names available now. And the price is all over the board. Sometimes you'll see like, .blue domains are like $100 a year. And then there'll be some other kind that's like 15 cents. Anyway, I don't understand that business very well. But Pravin wrote in and asked a question that I was trying to dodge, but I told people I'd answer questions, so I'm going to do it. And he even wrote in and revised this question, but I'm gonna answer the original question. Sorry, I'm gonna answer the original question. So he asked what my, I don't know why I'm chuckling here, but he asked what my morning ritual looks like, or my morning routine. And the reason why I laugh is because back in the day, a long time ago, I used to be a personal development blogger. Right after college, because I thought I knew something about personal development, and the truth is I think I probably know very little about personal development, but I learned a lot about marketing back then, and about blogging, and about growing an audience. None of those skills I'm using to actually grow this podcast, which I spend like no time promoting at all. Other than I think I have this automated thing that tweets every time I put out a new post. But so I'll answer this question, but I want to preface this by saying that this used to be the obsession of like productivity bloggers. If you've followed productivity bloggers, basically the space that created, like Tim Ferriss, or if you've been following the Getting Things Done movement, there was this blog back in the day. It's still around, called Zen Habits, but everyone used to blog about their morning routine. And there were all these blog posts about how to build a habit of getting up early in the morning. I think all that stuff is BS. Like all right, I'm not going to digress here too much, but there have been studies on different chronotypes, and that's just a fancy way of saying people that have certain proclivities around when they get up and when they go to bed. And most people have this like flexible chronotype where if they work on it, they can get up early. And by most, I mean, it's like a majority, but I don't think it's significantly, over 50%. But most people are in this kind of flexible chronotype category where, yeah, like I said, they can train themselves to get up early or train themselves to get up late. It's just, they're flexible. But then there's this early riser chronotype that tends to be much more organized and less creative, although there's certainly creative people that do get up early in the morning. This is just about, averages. And it is very hard for them to do anything other than get up early. Like that's just how their body is wired. And then there's people with this sort of late rising chronotype that can get up, they get up later and they need to sleep in the morning. It's when their body produces certain hormones. They tend to be less structured in how they think and less organized and more creative. And if you're in either of those buckets, you really can't change this. And it's really absurd, like kind of this cult around getting up early. There's that quote by, I believe, Benjamin Franklin, who said, early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. And then there's this counter quote. I forgot, I don't know who to attribute it to, but there's a response to that quote that says, early to rise, early to bed makes a man healthy, wealthy, and dead. So, I think people should just do whatever works best for them. There's nothing virtuous inherently about getting up early in the morning, in my opinion, despite what various fables and the Bible might say on this topic. Anyway, I don't know if the Bible says anything about this. I think it does somewhere. Anyway. So what does my morning ritual look like? Well, since having kids, I have learned to get up early in the morning. So I guess I was more of a flexible chronotype than I thought. But so I get up early in the morning, and I do a few things. The first thing I do is I weigh myself because I have some weight loss goals. They're not huge. I think I'm my body fat composition is technically in the healthy category, but I'd like to get leaner, and I'm like at the boundary where I think I might be pushing what my BMI should be. That said, I go to the gym 4 times a week, and I think a lot of those BMI numbers don't hold up if you have a certain amount of muscle mass. Anyway, so I weigh myself. Then I make coffee. My co-founder gave me this Nespresso machine, and I really like it. I didn't like the Keurig. I don't like the Keurig machines for whatever reason, but I have this issue around making coffee. I don't know why I can't. For so long, I've tried to make coffee. I had a French press, and I need coffee, and I'm addicted to it, and I think there's a lot of benefits to it and antioxidant qualities and such. But I had the Starbucks app, and there was a Starbucks close by, and I just go and buy it every morning, despite, whatever new gizmo I might have. I got the AeroPress. I thought that was going to be super easy, but there's just something about, I don't have beans. I got to go buy beans. Oh, they don't have the kind that's pre-ground, so then now I need to grind it. And man, I aspired to be one of these, gourmands, or whatever the term is, around coffee. I bought this super nice hand grinder, and at the end of the day, I just never did any of that stuff. I even got an auto drip at the end of the day, or I even got an auto drip machine, and thought, this is easy. I just put in the coffee, and then I pour in the water, and then I turn on the thing. And but I finally got off the habit of going to buy coffee with this Nespresso machine. It's probably not great for the environment. I haven't found a good way to recycle those new. I don't like the older ones. I like the new kind of rounder pods. I'm way off topic here, but you asked the question, so I'm going to answer this. Feel free to skip this if this is not at all interesting to you. This has nothing to do with business or blockchain or whatever. But I like the rounded pods, the new ones that only they sell because they've got some stupid patent on it. And I don't know how to recycle those, but I figure it's better to there's less impact around those than getting a Starbucks cup every day and throwing it away. And yeah, I tried the thing where I got the special Starbucks cup, and then I always had it in the wrong place, and I never had it on me when I'd go to buy coffee. I've really tried for a long time to figure out coffee. Oh, hold on. My wife is calling. Be right back. Anyway, I make coffee. All right. Long story short, I make coffee. I get up, I weigh myself. Damn it. Hold on one second. Anyway, I love my wife, and it's just, man, she has this talent of calling me when I'm in the middle of something. Okay, so I make coffee, and I also make, at the same time that I'm waiting for the coffee to be made from the Nespresso, which it feels like it's a long time, even though it's way quicker than any other way to make coffee. I'm making myself this apple cider vinegar drink. I back in the day, I went down this rabbit hole, and I was looking at the benefits of apple cider vinegar, and I started taking it, and it definitely reduces my appetite. It gives me kind of a high when I drink apple cider vinegar. So I have this this container that holds about 32 ounces of water, and I put 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in it, organic, with the mother. That's just the cloudy stuff at the bottom. So I put 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in it, 1 tablespoon of organic lemon juice, and then I just dump a bunch of cinnamon in it, and I drink it, and it makes me feel good. And since I started taking that, I really haven't gotten sick. I guess for one day I had this stomach virus, but it's just, my wife had it for 4 days and I had it for one day. But other than that, I haven't gotten sick, and I feel good, and my energy's good. So I don't know, maybe it's placebo effect, but I'm a huge fan. And I take vitamins. I take turmeric with curcumin and some kind of black pepper thing, and Alzheimer's runs in my family. So I don't know. I don't know what effect this is going to have. It does reduce inflammation. Apparently, like if you read a lot of naturopathic literature, apparently everything bad that could ever happen to your body is caused by inflammation. Like you get your arm cut off, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, that was caused by inflammation." But apparently, all depression, all illness, everything is caused by inflammation, and that just seems absurd to me. Like if one thing causes everything, does it really have causal value? I don't know. That's just my opinion. So I take turmeric. There's this thing called master amino acid pattern, which studies have shown like replaces protein. Like you can take this this pattern of amino acids and not have to take a protein supplement. I still take a protein supplement, but I feel really good on this. So I've tried a lot. I experiment with a lot of things, and this has worked for me. I have no idea if it'll work for you, but it works for me. I take a probiotic, and then I get to my morning habits. I can't believe I'm doing this. Like back in the day, I swore I'd never create any content about my morning routine, just because, like, if you just search for morning routine, there's like a gajillion blog posts where all these productivity bloggers are telling you about their morning routine. It's like those life hacker people that show you, I don't know, what's in their backpack, or the everyday carry people that have like, pictures laid out on a desk of like everything in their backpack. It's just super nerdy. I don't know how beneficial it is, but I am answering this question because I said I would. All right. So there's a bunch of things that I want to do this year that are on a list of goals. One, I'd really like to do an L-sit on the floor. It's like this gymnastics move. I'd like to do a certain number of pull-ups in a row. So I have this goal of doing a bunch of things 250 times this year. So here's how I think about this. Here's where I came up with 250. There's 52 weeks in a year. If I give myself 2 weeks off for, I don't know, Christmas or holidays or whatever, then that leaves me with 50 weeks. And then if you think of like 5 days during the week, so if you multiply 5 by 50 weeks, you get 250. So there's a bunch of things that I've got a clipboard with my daily goals and stats on it. But here are the things that I want to do 250 times this year. I want to do the L-sit practice. I want to do pull-ups 250 times this year, like 250 sessions of it, right? For me, it's not about how many I can actually do. It's about the fact that I'm doing it every day or 250 times in the year. So L-sit, pull-ups, dips, hanging leg lifts. So I just, all of this is pretty simple equipment, and it's just a bar for doing pull-ups, and I can do hanging leg lifts with that. And then I have this dip thing I bought on Amazon for like $45 or something that just next to my desk, and I can do dips. And then also 250 times this year, I want to publish this podcast. So put out 250 episodes this year, and publish an audio update to the Nomics team, where I because we're a distributed team, I think it's important to get a steady feed of, sort of thoughts on the future, the vision, what the company is doing, etc. So yeah, that's that's my morning routine. I'm trying to get off of nicotine gum. So like I've got this thing called a kitchen safe, and it allows you to just put stuff in there and set a timer. So every week I'm trying to, like, I've got this kitchen safe with nicotine gum in it, and every few weeks I'll just reduce by one the number of nicotine gums I take. So I take the 2 milligram Nicorette gums, and I'm down to 3. So pretty soon I'll be to 2, and then I'll be to 1. But I'm doing it at a pace that feels good to me. I know that stuff is bad for your heart. So yeah, and then from there, I'm usually in a pretty good place, right? Like I'm hydrated, I'm caffeinated, and I've moved my body a bit, and I've communicated with the team, and I've recorded this podcast. So that is my morning routine. Who knows if it would work for you? I have no idea if this is interesting to anyone. It has nothing to do with blockchain. But Pravin, you asked the question, and I'm answering it. And I don't know. Take care. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening. If you liked this content, please help me out by leaving a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts. It provides me with encouragement and it helps other people find the program. Also, if you have a question that you'd like me to answer on the podcast, go to asknomics.com, leave me a question, and I'll do my best to answer it in the next few days. Thanks for listening, and see you tomorrow.